But people like Michelle Obama, the sister Most High Rest her soul, Sandy Bland, different women, the minute you open your mouth, especially in America, especially to say that, you know, I speak out against something, you're likely to catch that angry black woman label. Straight, if you go to work, if you're in corporate America, if you're in school, yeah, everybody's shaking their head like, yeah, me heard that one already. You're angry, you know what I'm saying? Why your head is moving, all the stereotypical things. So I started to say, man, this is really controversial. And so I went to the beginning of this stereotype. And the beginning of this stereotype started some 200 years ago, as you can imagine, out of slavery. And so the European, he had a different mindset of what a woman was supposed to be or personify. And when he came in contact by forced labor, you know, go figure, she didn't want to do it. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, you ain't paying me, but, you know, you're still supposed to smile about it. So when he met resistance from what I'm researching, when he met resistance from your sexual advances, from you trying to rape me, from you trying to sell off my children, from you trying to oppress me, or you're trying to sell off my husband, he's like, oh, I can't believe this. You know, how can you not, you know, you're angry. It started there. She's sassy, she's mouthy. Girl, you're sassing me. So the slave master now, we are looking through his eyes of what the character that the black woman in slavery had to take on to survive. One went on the other side, she became what they classify as the Jezebel. She's the one who said, you know what, I do what I gotta do to get to where I gotta go. You understand? She became somebody else. Today you call her Richie or Jezebel, whatever the case may be. The angry black woman, she stood up strong. She said, no, I'm not going for it. You're not going to go. So they had one particular sister back in the days. Her name was Suki. It's in one of the slave narratives. And the slave master came up to her and tried to violate her. And so she took him and pushed him in a pot of lye. She was boiling some soup. Not soup, she was boiling soap. And pushed his behind in it. And guess what? He didn't want to holler because he didn't want missus to know that he was trying to rape slave girl. A few days later, she was sold off. And when she went to auction block, she basically, the story says, lifted up her clothes to let them know, no, don't check my teeth. I am a woman and I have rights. And they basically sold her off. One of the books, and I'm not sure if Miss Michelle has it, I think she does, is Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl. That's another excellent book to look at the sexual harassment if you worked in the house, how much you had to endure. So imagine you ain't getting paid, number one. Number two, you under some stress. Number three, who you really like, you can't get with. You know, these are the stresses, these are the things that go into the pot of the woman who had to endure for generations and generations and generations. So today when we say we're not angry, for me in my research, I say we're not necessarily being honest, because where do all these emotions go? Where does the hurt go? Where does the pain go? Where does the stress go? What's wrong, baby? Give her one. Give her one. So where does it all go? And we stuffed it down like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Dr. Joyce DeGruy. She speaks about the post-traumatic slave disorder, and she looks at it she likens it to post-traumatic stress disorder. And even if you go to 1 year or 2 years to war, or if you even had one traumatic thing like 9/11, it's like, oh, I need counseling. Okay, imagine 400 plus years of, there we go, as we're talking about, see, post-traumatic slave syndrome. This is Dr. Joyce DeGruy. She is a doctor. She has done her work in looking at the effects that slavery had on the mind and the psyche. So it's not just one thing that we're going to look at. I'm all about looking at what those who came before us have done and putting this puzzle together, and each individual doing the work within themselves so that they can make a change. So she's another good one. That's what's up. Dr. Joyce DeGruy. So the strength of that woman is for the strength of that man. But because the man's masculinity was taken away and he was broken down now, he can no longer handle. She couldn't afford that opportunity to break down. You understand what I'm saying? I also found it interesting in reading recently that the large majority of runaways were men between the age of 15 to, I think they said 45. And that the black woman, she was discouraged from running away because you can't leave your children. So she had to stay. So she wasn't afforded the opportunity to run away, so I asked, what did she do? She had to become resistant. She had to become masculine. She had to become all the things now that we classify as the angry black woman. But the same person who was participant in creating this atmosphere, now I'm going to brand you so that you shut your mouth and you allow me to continue to abuse you. So basically this book is about bringing awareness to the media and how it is that when we sit down and watch these shows that we love, like the Jeffersons. Can anybody name the angry black woman in the Jeffersons? Florence. See? The angry black woman in the Jeffersons was Florence. Can anybody name the angry black woman in Sanford and Son? Aunt Esther. Can anybody name the angry black woman in the movie Waiting to Exhale? The one who burnt the car and the clothes and everything else. You see how we can, but oftentimes media passes over why she's angry. Because if I'm the one who's doing it, saying if I'm the system, if I'm the European, if I'm a level of white supremacy, I really don't care why. I'm reacting to your outbursts. So, and we begin to react to one another based on our outbursts. And we become desensitized or distanced from the reality of why are we really angry in the first place. Anger is not the issue. Anger is a symptom that there is an issue.
Exactly.
You feel me? Our men are angry. That's the issue is that there is something that is causing. There's a root. And because we get caught up in, you yelled at me, you know, in the way in which we're expressing this anger, we're not looking at, okay, what's really going on with you? And I've heard a lot of people speak about, you know, what can we do? We need to do economics. We need to do this. We need to do that. Yes, we need to do all of those things. But if we cannot work cohesively in interpersonal relations, if we cannot talk one to another and resolve an issue, if we cannot do it, we can't build. Because the minute we start building, and I don't like the way you talk to me, particularly, you know, and I start, you know, getting angry on your behind, I ain't working with her no more. I ain't working with him no more. It's over. What happened to that? It's done. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the things. It's so small. I have 4 children, and I see that interpersonal relationship is the foundation of any successful venture. It's either you're going to rule by force, which the slave master was saying out of the West Indies when they ruled, hey, you can't beat them like that anymore. They're like, hey, if we can't beat them, it ain't going to work because they ain't going to do nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So it's either going to be out of force or it's going to be out of respect. And we can't, if we don't love each other, how do we do that? We hear it all the time, love one another, but how do we do that? What does that translate into? You know, why are you so angry, my dear? Is it valid? Because there is righteous indignation. You can be angry for a valid reason. I could be the wicked one and you could be the righteous one, but you look crazy and I'm over here, you know, pushing your buttons. People do that. And they're like, well, why are you angry? Because you're wicked. That's why. So, I'm just saying, we're coming from now, whatever your forefathers experienced, they passed it down to you through what they taught you, how they reacted to you, and also through your DNA, because their experiences are coded in the DNA. And you may not know why you react the way you react. Why are you afraid of being, because that may have been a feeling and fear that, they say when animals are about to die, that fear goes into the meat. So if the animal died bad, you're like, this is one tough piece of goatee. Now if it was an old goat or the animal died bad, you understand? So in your molecular structure, the experiences, and this is scientists, they've been doing science on it, it's passed down through the generations. So here we stand today, children of slaves, never having done the work like she speaks about in this post-traumatic slave syndrome. And we say, hey man, let's work together. But every time you work together, you just got a dissonant on the side saying, hey man, I'll give you $50 to tell on all of them. You know what I'm saying? And then we wonder, like, that's all it took, $50? You understand what I'm saying? That's all it took. Like, you sold me out for $50 because why? In slavery, hey, you know what I'm saying? You might have been the one, like, you gonna hold this secret, master gonna tear you up. So it was brutal. You understand what I'm saying? But for our men, understand that there's more going on here, and it's not excuses, but we all have work to do. And I think just uncovering some of the things that have been the hidden hand behind the curtain, so to say. You know what I'm saying? You didn't just do that all by yourself. Because if you watch Nigerian movies, which I sometimes watch because they're kind of funny, they remind me of Jamaicans, but when you watch them, she didn't go through that, but she's really hype. She's really spirited. You understand what I'm saying? The way her speech, her diction, her expression. If the European says it, he'll be aggressive. But that's the way in which they exchange. You understand what I'm saying? So I say that to say, very interesting. All of this you can find in the book. Some of the stuff was extra studies as well. The topic I felt was well worth looking into because you don't find a lot of research, but we do see that once you begin to climb the corporate America ladder or get places in this place, if we go without our counterpart, if we go without our male, if we buy into this stereotype, if we are angry but we don't deal with the issues, we further drive a wedge between our family, our community, and by extension our nation. So in order to rise, we have to begin to look at the little things that are not so little when we put them under a microscope. So once again, my name is Emunah Yisrael. Thank you for taking the time to listen. And we have refreshments in the back. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Any questions?
I noticed that you didn't mention the Willie Lynch syndrome.
Yes.
Because it has a lot to do with all of what you talked
Yes.
about.
Yes. The Willie Lynch, the letters, for those who don't know, I think Miss Michelle might have that here too. The Willie Lynch letters, it talks about the making of a slave. It talks about what you need to do to make sure, because they know that these two need to come together and they need to work in a way that it's going to make it work. But if we can interrupt that process, then anything that happens after that is going to be, fail, null and void. You understand? And so definitely, I think the Willie Lynch letters are here as well. And it just opens up a lot of what is going on. Please believe that it is systematic. We think it's happenstance, because we think, there we go, the making of a slave, Willie Lynch, and breaking the curse of Willie Lynch. That's what I'm saying. It's a whole study. We seem to think it's happenstance. This stuff is not happenstance. Just like they study in the microscope, they have where they study us socially. Sometimes I was looking at, they know us better than we know us. That's why they know what to sell us. They know what we're going to buy. They know what we're going to go for. So it's like, why we need to take the time to step back. And one of the things I haven't had in years is that television. It sounds dramatic, but once
Tell lies to the
tell
vision.
the lies to your vision. That's right. That tell lie vision, what it does is, first time you'll just be like, oh man, I just go watch that little show. Next thing you know, you sitting there for 3 hours. You ain't moved, you ain't done nothing. And people say, well, how do you get to do so much? I don't watch TV. And now with the advent of the internet, I can select what I desire to see. And if I don't desire to see it, stop, cancel, I'm done. And then you get back into the books, and then you go into flexion. So one more thing for
The woman in the house is the one bringing most of the money in there. But now, let's go to the solution. This right here, Carrot Bars International. This is a company, and it's a God sent, trust me when I tell you. This is a company where any of us right now, 18 or older, we can open up our own offshore free gold savings account. And it's really free. There's no hidden fees, none of that. Okay? And you can start acquiring your own 24 karat gold at small transaction friendly weights at leisure, whenever you want. And this right here is going to be the new global money, because it's honored and valued all around the world. We're operating now in 121 countries. I'm not going to go into no presentation about this, but I'm just pointing out to y'all so that you can understand the value of this information, so that you can take it and do your research, right? Because guess what? In the next 5 years, everybody on this planet is going to be either rich or poor. Ain't going to be no middle class no more. You can forget about that. In
You have
5
a
years...
president of your company?
Excuse me?
Is there a president of that company?
No, there's a CEO and an owner.
CEO and owner?
Yes.
Where is that individual?
In Germany.
Germany?
Yes.
Is he Caucasian?
Yes, he is. He's Caucasian. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what now? Hear me well on this. Every white man ain't our enemy, and every black man ain't our friend. get real with that too. Okay,
Totally
there's a
true.
lot of black devils too. Okay, there's a lot of black devils. Okay, so now the thing is that I judge you based on how you treat me. Okay, This-
Individually, that's what it is. You take people.
you gotta deal with the individual.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta deal with the individual, and this particular guy, he's been proven that he cares about people in the world. He cares about everybody in the world. Okay, that's why he has it like it is. Small transaction-friendly weights of 24 karat gold. Now, my main point that I want to make in this section right here, I'm going to wrap it up real quick, is that those of us that's smart enough to get involved with carat bars and start acquiring generational wealth, and you talk about biblical stuff, brother. According to the Bible, it says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children.
Ain't that the truth?
What better inheritance is there to leave than 24 karat gold? Biblically, look at that word gold. You take the L out of gold, what you got? That's because gold is God's money. The only real money that ever existed. That's why when the Christ child was born, they gave him gold as a gift, and frankincense and myrrh. That's why Jesus was never in want of anything. That's why he when he gave us the Lord's Prayer, he said, I shall not what? Because we shouldn't want for nothing, because we are. We are the King's children. Okay?
So you said that we shouldn't want for nothing. Well, why are we wanting?
Because again, biblically, the book of Hosea, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Thank you. So we need to, that's my point. We need to educate ourselves and our
You ready
young
for you?
children to find out who we are, because once they know who they are, they can do all things, and all things can be accomplished. Can't nobody keep us down. And I'm a younger person, I'm a little bit older now, but that's what I'm tired of hearing, the white man keep us down. The Bible, he said that we gonna serve other gods, enemy, because our disobedience. So what I think we need to be teaching is the laws and statutes. What he said, we should return back to the laws and the commandments to get under his grace. Because until we do that, we gonna still be serving man and still going through. It ain't gonna, NAACP ain't gonna help us, none of this, none of that. So return to what he said we supposed to be following. And that's how we gonna, when you know who you are, I know who I am, so I don't want for nothing. If I don't have cash, I'm still gonna eat, because I know who my Father is. He provides for me. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you to the sister. What's your name, sister?
Coretta, Jarrell's mom.
Thank you, Coretta.
Very
Miss
welcome.
Coretta. We have an elder over here, and I just want to let everybody know that we're going to have refreshments served in the back, and we can continue this conversation definitely. I want to say agreed. When all things, the thing, and our elder always likes to say, it's not either or.
Take one and pass it.
All of this is part of the equation. That's why I say it starts with the individual. Our obedience or disobedience to the universal laws is what allows other people to be able to have the ability to suppress us. We are being suppressed because we are out of our
Right.
natural minds.
Yeah.
And when we are doing things, for instance, when we succumb to, and I'm going to keep it as simple as eating unclean foods. When we succumb to doing that, we are against universal principles that says that food is not meant for consumption. Now when we are in consumption, guess what? Now our system is suppressed, diseases come in, and now who's over you? The European in the jacket saying, hey, see, this is the problem right here. So what we chose to do or chose not to do put us in that position. So I do agree with the sister, what we continue as a people, because the reality is we are people, we talk a good game. We talk, I ain't gonna front like Miss Michelle said, we talk a real good game. We be in here like, yeah, and we go home like, nah, I ain't doing that. And we go right back to what we've been doing. So what I'm saying, it is, everything that everybody is saying is valid. Let me just say that. And one of the things, like I said, validating each other. Because sometimes we think it gotta be this point or that point, but really all of it is points on the circle that come to the understanding. Economics is definitely important, because economics, when you want to go to the Bible, economics is the first thing that got hit. When we are out of universal alignment, the first thing you're going to get hit is in your basket. That's economics. So we can't just throw economics off the table. But why are you being hit in the basket? Because guess what? When you do business, our people, we ain't right. When you do business, you don't like giving returns. When you do business, maybe you act a little nasty. Maybe you want more than you give. So the way in which we treat our neighbor affects the way in which we do business, which affects our overall basket. So we can't get away from self-growth, and that's what I'm about, growth and development for the self. Because when I do that, I then can learn, if I'm mean to me, of course I'm being mean to you. You understand what I'm saying? If I don't love me and I treat myself jacked up, then I love you like I love me, and I don't love me, so I don't love you. So hurt people, and broken bricks don't bring strong houses. So if we are broken bricks, understand that everything, and we're behind, really at this time, we are like losing major ground with these ones here. Because we're trying to get it together, and we're so trying to get it together that we forget that you're supposed to be in a position to help them. Like you said, a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. You shouldn't be taking out the phone bill in Ray Ray's name. Ray Ray get 18, Ray Ray don't got no credit. That's a problem. You understand what I'm saying? You should not be inheriting debt.
Right.
Let's talk. So the thing is, we have to speak honest and frank, because right now is not the time for games and pretense. We are behind literal enemy lines right now, and if we don't preserve them, these children, and make sacrifices to while we're getting it together, make sure that we are there for them so that we don't continue to injure them in the same ways in which we were injured. So Miss Michelle, she has a young man here. He comes and he sits with her. Anytime I come and see her, he here sitting. Did you do your homework? Yeah. Yes, Miss Michelle. It doesn't have to be like, yeah, I'm just taking everybody in the neighborhood. Love that one. You understand what I'm saying? Some children out there don't have a mother figure where it is that they could talk to. Or sometimes they don't have parents who they can speak to. And you be that ear who can guide them in the right way. Take that little girl by the hand who's like a little off the chain. Instead of being like she's off the chain, little miss, come here, can I talk to you? I speak to the children in my neighborhood. Ask my children. They look like me, like, you ain't my mama. I'm like, well, if you come around me, you ain't going to be looking like that. Why are you eating candy at 10 o'clock in the morning? I don't care if you're not my child. So we have to take back that mentality. And I ain't scared of your mama either. I'm not going to be rude to you, but I'm going to let you know if you're going to come around mine, you're not going to corrupt them. So if I say 10 o'clock in the morning is not a time to eat candy, then don't come around here eating candy 10 o'clock in the morning. Or where did you get that Mountain Dew from? You understand? This is how I speak then. I'm younger. Because this, when I was younger, that's how the elders spoke to you. And it was with love, and it was when they come, they will have that respect and be able to come and sit down with you and say, hey, this is what's going on with you. But because the children feel that we don't care, I see parents like this. And I'm like, little Johnny over there like, get Charles too. We, all of these things we have, and what are we doing? We're running away from ourselves. We're running away from our problems. We're social, but we're not social. I had a joke I was telling my mother, and I'm gonna come to the elder, that, what did the joke say? I'm not really social. I just look like looking at other people's media. You on social media, you don't say hi to nobody, but you over there talking about life. You see him in the street, won't say nothing. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not really social. I just like looking at people's media. That means I like minding people's business and have something to talk about. When you never see them child, you know, oh, I see the baby, I get big. You don't visit them, you don't call them or nothing. We're losing the reality of interaction. We're losing it in this virtual world. We need to come back to hardbound books and real conversation, like the elder was saying, not just chat. You know, I have a group, my mother could attest, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. There's a teleconference. It's called Take Time to Heal. We have elders on there. Speak about everything from your childhood. The mic is yours. When you speak, you get to speak whatever you need to speak until you're done. Some places they be like, you know, you gotta hurry up. But in that space, you know that you're validated. One thing I learned with my children is if they don't feel that they're valid, that's it. So if I'm speaking to you, look at me, address me, call me by my name. And that is love. It's not like some rocket science. You know, it's not, except for when they kind of stress me. I'm like, wait a minute again. But other than that, you know, connect. When I'm talking to you, I look you in your eye and what's your name? And we bring back that respect on a base level. Then we could talk about building. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't respect you and I don't trust you, the minute you slip up, I don't go to that person over there. But you understand what I'm saying? So, Elder.
Yeah, like the whole thing about the angry black woman, the whole syndrome and everything is like about the solution to that. And like I think on a personal level, the woman on a personal level has to get into the solution of where her anger is coming from and actually where to put the anger. Turn the anger into something positive.
Transmuting.
Yeah.
To be able, and I agree, we have to, energy does not die.
That's right.
Yeah? So it just changes form. You feel me? So we know that. So in doing that, like she's saying, practical, I'm sorry,
Gail.
Miss Gail. Miss Gail, I'm working on it. But so we have to be able to transmute the anger, which is a fire. It's a consuming fire if we let it burn. Let me let you know something. There's an article that was written that talks about the effect of anger on the body. Some deep stuff. When we talk about what's the number one cause of deaths for the black community, heart
Pressure.
Heart disease. Cause we angry. You know what the anger does to the heart?
Yeah.
Diabetes, these things, because we are affecting our body every time we allow our blood pressure to go up and all of the things physiologically that happens within us. So yes, literally anger is killing us.
Yeah.
So yes, we have to learn how to take it from this is what it is to push it to a different place, whether it be creativity. That's how I find one of them. Creativity. Whether you're a writer, whether you're an artist, whether you're a singer, you take it and you make it into something else. You understand what I'm saying? You have to transmute that energy. Usually, if we're angry, you want to get it out and you just dump it on somebody. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then now that body is like, but if we learn, and sometimes we can't always do it, and in the process it's going to, but stop. Don't let it build up. Learn to say what you need to say in a calm state. That didn't happen to me today. Okay, so you could give it to me. In a calm state, say what you need to say before, oh, this person. And if you are like here, needle angry, that's something you're gonna need to really, really work on. Because the minute somebody do something, bomb, I'm gonna get you. That's something else. So like you're saying, Miss Gail said, get to the root of it. And if you don't know, you might need to take a trip down memory lane to find out your upbringing, your relationship to your mother, your relationship to your father, your relationship to your siblings. Because it could have been your siblings who were oppressing you. It could have been your parents who were oppressing you. It could have been an injury that you incurred. Just take the time to get to know yourself, basically. Because sometimes we go to work, we go to school, and we don't even know who we are. So just really take the time to get to know yourself. And those, for me, were practical solutions. This book.
Oh, okay.
I can take this picture too.
Sure. What was that?
Where
Okay, close up the bottle now.